Peter, we have to move on to our next story, which comes at another related development. In Israel, National Security Minister Itamar Ben Gvir is once again calling on Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich to join him in opposing the proposed ceasefire and hostage release deal. Ben Gvir labelled the deal as reckless and urged Smotrich's religious Zionism party to unite with his Otzima Yehudit faction in voting it down. Ben Gvir emphasised what he called as a historic opportunity for a decisive victory in Gaza, stating that halting the war now would amount to surrender. He also criticised the resumption of humanitarian aid to the Strip, calling it a giant mistake, and claimed that he was the only cabinet member to vote against it. The ultra-nation A-list minister remains adamant that Israel must continue its military campaign until, quote, full victory is achieved, warning that any pause in fighting would only embolden Hamas. We're once again joined by Peter Bourne to discuss these statements in more detail. Peter, we obviously know that both Itamar Ben Gvir and Smotrich are part of Benjamin Netanyahu's coalition government, which he holds the power due to. Do you see Benjamin Netanyahu, along with obvious pressure from President Donald Trump, accepting the ceasefire under the circumstances that he might lose the support of the far-right parties that form his coalition in government?
Indeed, this is the biggest issue that Netanyahu has faced. It's clear that the Americans have enabled potentially what is the most realistic chance of a ceasefire between the Israeli nation and Hamas. And clearly the right wing of the Netanyahu government are dramatically opposed to this ceasefire. They see nothing other than the total annihilation as Hamas as being anything other that to fulfill their objectives that they wanted to achieve. On this particular issue, I think Netanyahu will have to stand firm and align himself with Trump, irrespective that may potentially bring down his government, because the Israeli public, Thomas, are so sick and tired of this war, and they recognise that the kind of objectives that the right wing of the Netanyahu government want to achieve are probably unfulfillable. They've damaged Hamas as much as they possibly can, and at a huge cost to both the Israeli public and to the Gazans and to the Palestinians. And I think if there's any realistic chance of a ceasefire, Netanyahu will have to stand firm against the right wing of his party, not all of whom are aligned with the finance minister, I have to say. So I think on this particular issue, it's a challenge, but I think Netanyahu should and will have to stand firm and go with the Trump plan.
Thank you very much, Peter. You stay with us for further updates on this ongoing situation. The 6th group of patients from the Gaza Strip has arrived in Jordan